We are in the Elarion reign consciousness, the locale of awareness and attention. And as the antenna for Muktianandama, we would like to address the awareness and the enlightenment of the main character in the movie of the vehicle, body, embodiment, who these words are being spoken through at this moment. It is disorienting when the awareness of your being moves into the realms or the understanding or recognition, the realization of being consciousness in all that is experienced, that you are the presence in all that you experience in thought, in embodiment, in form, in feeling, in sensing the reality that you are all that is a new way of existing in this current construct. And the purpose and intention for this enlightenment is to experience the profundity of being all that is, in the awakening of the sleep state of being separate identities and embodiments. It is disorienting to see and experience your own being wherever you are, wondering whether there is really only you and all that you experience, wondering the point of these conversations and interactions with only your own being. Maybe even a sense of loneliness. So this is the mind at the state that is in this world of death, trying to understand something bigger and outside of its frame, the frame of mind that is experiencing this world. And so we would like to assure this mind that you are at the same time all that is, while also being and experiencing the all of the all that is. And so in a sense, yes, there are others. And in a sense, there is only you. Just as you expand your awareness of your own being, you expand your awareness of the beings of others as your capacity through your awareness of your own unlimited state to love grows. You experience the unlimited state of other individualized consciousness of all that is. You can only experience what you have found in yourself, either through vision, recognition, inspiration, experience, illumination, and imagination. All these vehicles are used to expand your consciousness of your own being and therefore the beingness of all that is unlimited individualized expressions of all that is. And so the boundaried mind, the mind of separation, becomes afraid at the concept that it is all there is. It immediately goes to the responsibility of creating a world that is safe and pleasant, populated with all that is safe and pleasant, in the overwhelming task of being a God. But in a sense, that is already occurring. It is occurring in a higher realm, such as the Elarion reign. Your world is being directed from above and informed from below, the below being the construct or the world itself. And so this vehicle, Muktianandama, is experiencing, directing her life from the Elarion reign. We like to use the image of the field, meditating in the field with the orb. She is experiencing living from that place as the consciousness that is directing what is experienced inside the orb. It is something Muktiananda Ma has done in many constructs, but in the embodying of the identity that was born in the construct with the consciousness of Muktiananda Ma, there is disorientation going on. There is a sort of back and forth. Eventually, this will stabilize, so one is living outside of one's world, directing the pixels on the screen from the field, experiencing one's being as the consciousness that is directing all of life, directing not from micromanagement, but from intention and frequency of being. It is a note that's held without words or images. It's not the kind of directing that is done in this world in the physical embodiment, directing of people and directing of location and form. It is a vibrational tuning fork type directing, and all that one has learned about manifesting is not relevant from this point. We pause because there is much laughter going on from the embodiment. It is more of a thoughtless state. It is a state of being. To trust states of being rather than directed thought is disorienting from the mind that has been awakened to being the consciousness of all that is. The ways of manifestation and creating of this limited separate mind are not relevant to the mind that is directing from the field of consciousness. Always this frequency is a more powerful creator than thought. It is the catalyst for thought. So then the question is, well, how do we fan the flames of our intentional frequency, and where does imagination and thought come into that? It is a more subtle way, a more subtle point of focus than thought. And there is great surrender required by the thinking mind, the mind that believes that thought is what moves the world, that awakened mind, that particular level of an awakened mind that is now needing to be given up for this more subtle state of being as the director. So Mukti Anandama is filling the form of the vessel and bringing in the consciousness at this new level of creating. You are going from being a creator to being a creation, to being the creation itself of all that is experienced. So we are ready for questions.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
And with you.
Thank you. The states of being. How does one tune in and shift into the ideal states of being, whether selected from a state of wakefulness or just in the linear progression that we're experiencing?
Yes, so for one, these states of being are not mental constructs, and they are more subtle than thought and even imagination. You could say they are sensing. They're more like sensing. So if you think of love and remove all the forms that you associate with love, and you stay in the awareness of that sense of love, then you are close to keeping your awareness on this vibrational note of creation. So you are closer to the purity of the original being that you are when you can hold the note without a bunch of thought needing to hold it. Does that make sense?
Yes, you just are love. You're just love without
Yes,
intellectualizing.
and your attention, rather than on getting love or showing love or imagining love, is just on the being state, the
Mm-hmm.
delight to moment in love. It could be power, it could be wonder, um, it could be life, what we call life, just the note of life, could be joy, could be overcoming, many different options there. But the key here is, as one's enlightenment progresses or expands into the awareness of being the consciousness that all that is, and understanding that you are the world that you're experiencing, you cannot create an entire world with thought. It's too much. And so you move into creation through these notes, through these frequencies, through your laser like attention and focus on these intentional states that you hold of these notes.
How does one continue to navigate the physical world of eating and working while holding these notes? Is there a trick to, as opposed to just meditating or you know?
Well, your awareness is always, well, there's two things. One is, as your enlightenment expands, you're able to hold your awareness in multiple places. In other words, if you're on the ground, you can only see what is maybe, 50 yards around you. If you are up in a tree, you're going to see more. If you're hovering up above, like let's say the distance of a kite, you'll be able to be aware and conscious of more. This expansion of perception occurs with enlightenment. So you can live in the expanded state of being even outside the world itself and aware of everything in it. So you're, if if that makes sense, you're asking from a perspective of being on the ground right now.
Mm-hmm. I guess, how do you get a higher bird's eye view? How do you?
Mainly it's practice. Once you get the experience of being something greater than your thoughts or greater than your body, you return to that over and over until it becomes habitual.
How does one come into harmony or, you know, state of peace with the past creations. In there's a lot of things that happen.
We like the metaphor of the pixels on the screen. How upset do you get when a movie is done? Whether it was a disturbing movie or a good movie, how much are you thinking about it 10 years from there?
So it's not you, even if you had actions from a state of
It's
being.
you in the sense that you created a movie like
Mm-hmm.
that, but how tied are you going to be to that creation 10 years later if it's a movie?
Not at all.
Well, it's basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So the only quote unquote karma or attachment to it is in consciousness, your
It's your story about it.
story about it.
That is correct. Now, that's not to say that um, these creations that we do aren't ways to experience different aspects of ourselves. If there is guilt or disappointment or other things that are in the past, so to speak, those are just pixels that you're running on your mental screen over and over and over. And more than likely, it's because you have not come to peace with them in yourself about them. In other words, you haven't mined, M-I-N-E-D, mined from them the gems that are available, and that is the reason for you creating that movie. And so it keeps coming to your mind, M-I-N-D.
Mm-hmm. And the gems from what we would put from our level on the ground view as a negative experience, how do you, is it just awakening to a higher level of awareness of it all? I mean, how do you complete?
Well, why don't you give me an example? That would be easier.
Um, like I keep experiencing in my physical lack of income, lack of signing deals. And while I find myself so much more at peace and in a better relationship with all the people I'm experiencing, it seems like there's less progress financially.
Well, the thing is it can be that as you are expanding, if you're still living in the contracted mold of your former life, it just is, it's not, how do I say, it's not going to fit. You as an expanded being are not going to fit in the mold you keep trying to fit in.
Right.
Yeah. And so, there's a lot that,
I feel like I'm taking a lot of bold actions in different ways, and it feels very good, almost cathartic to do it. And I feel like I'm seeing results from it, but not in my bank account yet. But I feel like um, I'm doing things the way that I should be doing them. Would you agree?
I don't really think that it's not really for us to agree or disagree.
Hmm.
Um, this is your story and you're writing it. And so, from the consciousness of Mukti Anandama, you can live whatever story you would like. Um, we would recommend that you choose a story that doesn't keep narrating that things aren't happening monetarily.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, we have some questions if you have time. You
We
had
have all time.
all time from you speaking a while ago, weeks ago, and you were saying, and I'll just paraphrase excerpts, finding yourself in the knowing that you are alone and one with all in your consciousness, that there is no other in the sense of the other that was understood, and the world you climbed out of, and the world you now stand next to. And so, how are we standing next to our creation, and it is within us at the same time? You said we climbed out of the world that we now stand next to.
As that is spoken from the perception or perspective of being the consciousness that is the world and the consciousness that has created the world that we are experiencing. So, whether you're in a body doing that or consciousness itself doing that, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Your consciousness is what you are aware of and then what you are unaware of. It is all that is. No matter what reality you're aware of, what physical form you're aware of, whether in the past, the present, the future, you have no boundaries. Even in the states where you are experiencing a boundary, there is consciousness beyond you that is beyond that boundary, whether you're aware of that or not at the time. And so that is what we would say to that.
Thank you.